back with another video, and I'm going to share the altered thread spools that I did for the So Crafty swap over at Your Paper Pantry. And so we had to do 3 spools, and they had to be I think it was 1 3/4 inches to at least 2 inches tall. And so this is the first one I did, and for this one I did a vintage theme. And I'll just start with the actual spool. I took my vintage photo distress stain and I stained the top and the bottom of the spool, and then once that was dry I added some gold rub and buff over parts of it. You can kind of see the gold on there. And then the paper was just some, I believe it was from Glitz Design. It was just a piece of scrap paper I had, and this is the design on it. And I distressed the edges and inked them with vintage photo, and then I glued it on. And then I took some vintage lace, crocheted lace, and put some on the spool. And then I added this pin that I made, custom pin, and alcohol inked the top of it. And then to the pin I added a garment pin and added these 2 charms, a little heart, and then a bobbin. And then I added this hanger, and then I took a domino and added a bingo chip to it and rubbed some gold rub and buff along the edges of the domino and the little number. Then on the top I have a Tim Holtz limited edition stamp that I stamped on craft paper. I inked the edges and distressed them with vintage photo, and then I just added my information, my name, and then my YouTube name, and then I put 1 of 3. And we had to include a clip on the top, and so you can take that out. And then on the top I added 2 flowers and a piece of bling, and then this vintage shoe button. And then on the bottom I just added a piece of craft paper and added some vintage paper on the top and distressed the edges just to give the base a little wider base. And that's my first spool, and I like the way it turned out. I'm happy with it. And then for the next 2 I did a Shabby Chic, or attempted a Shabby Chic anyways. And so for this one I took a piece, I believe it was like a Prima paper, but I'm not positive. It was some one that I got on in a rack, and I cut it to fit and distressed the edges with vintage photo and used my distress edger on it, and wrapped some vintage crocheted lace around it. And then I painted the top and the bottom of the spool with kind of a light beige, and then I added crackle accent and then a top coat of white and heat set it, and you can see the cracks. And then I rubbed the whole white surface with vintage photo because it was too stark looking, the white against the kind of turquoise. And then I used the same stamp and stamped my information and put 2 of 3 on the top, and then I added some Prima flowers, and this one I got from Allie. I bought it, paper craft doll. Added a little the green wire that was from the flower, twisted it, and added these sprays, added the memo pin, and then one of these whimsical hearts from Webster's Papers, and then the stick pin, and this one I got in a swap. And then I added a jump ring and added 2 charms, a key and then a crown. And then I took one of those buttons that I got from Dress 'em Up buttons, I believe they're called, and it was a thimble, and cut off the back and glued it on. And then I took one of them my road dress form, chipboard dress forms, and added some silver micro beads to the bottom and the top, and those I got from the dollar store. They were in those little bottles. And then for the middle here I used turquoise glitter flakes from Martha Stewart, and I really like the way it turned out. I think it looks shabby chic, and these were a lot of fun to do, and they don't take very long, and it's a good way to just use up your little embellishments, and they're a lot of fun to do. And you can get the spools at Michael's. They're in the wood section, and they're, like I said, they're 2 inches tall. And then the third one, I basically did the same thing to the spool with the paint, the crackle paint, and this one I added different trim. I believe this is a Prima trim. It's cotton on the top, and then it's got some crocheted type lace on the bottom, I believe. And then did the same thing on the top, added the 3 flowers and the sprays, and then a little heart again. And then this one, I added the stick pin, and this is actually a ring, and I cut the back off of it. It was from the dollar store, and I thought it went really pretty with this. And then I added another dress form with the same micro beads and glitter, and I think it turned out really pretty. I might add a charm there. Just realized that I should maybe have a charm there. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way they turned out, and hopefully the people that I'm swapping with will like them as well. So you send in 3 and you get 3 back. So please check out the swaps over at Your Paper Pantry. There's lots of fun ones. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day. Have a happy Easter. Bye for now.